How are we all doing, guys? I'm Rough Dimon, and welcome to part 2 of my tips and tricks series for Fortnite Battle Royale. As I said, this is part 2, and if you haven't already, don't forget to check out part 1, which was Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks for beginners. Link is in the description. And before we get started, a quick disclaimer: some of you are probably aware of a lot of these tips and tricks, but stay tuned, you might learn something new. I've titled this video Advanced Tips and Tricks, and some of you will probably think that's obvious, I knew that, and some of you won't. But I still see experienced players making simple mistakes in game. Also, some of the tips and tricks may have been patched at the time of watching this video, just to give you a heads up. Right, I'm going to start with controller configuration. I've already made a video on this, so go and check it out for a bit more detail, but having your controller set to Combat Pro will really help you build faster and select weapons. When playing on console, building and selecting materials can be a bit of a pain due to the lack of buttons compared to a keyboard. Every time you press the build button, the first option is always the wall. You can turn this off in the options under reset building item. So if you're like me, you prefer steps over the wall, this can always be ready when hitting the build button. Next up, bait. This is when you leave a desirable item, like a med pack, just laying around in the open, and an enemy goes to pick it up and you are waiting in a bush nearby. There's all different variants to this, for example, placing a trap on a wall near to the med pack, or downing someone and leaving their loot as bait. Be creative, that's why Fortnite has a lot of replayability, so much variety. When building steps, especially if you're trying to get on top of a hill, it's always a good idea to double up. What I mean by this is more than one pair of steps side by side, so it'll be harder to shoot down by the enemy. Also, if you're building steps onto a hill, it's not really a good idea to build straight up, as this can be shot down by only taking out one set. I always try and build on the cliff wall, so each set of steps is connected to the cliff side and can't be shot down by only taking out one set. When playing squads or duos, spread the inventory load. What I mean by this is if 3 of you are holding 1 med pack each, give them all to one person. Obviously, this isn't ideal in all situations, if you haven't got the instant heal if you get into a gunfight, but it's something to bear in mind when looting. If playing duos or squads and you have extremely low life, lower than 30, without any meds, you can always consider downing yourself and getting a teammate to revive. Once revived, your health will be back up to 30, and that's better than nothing. There's a strategy known as the double pump strat, where you have 2 or more pump action shotguns next to each other in your inventory, and when you're in a gunfight, you can swap between the weapons without reloading, which means a faster rate of fire and less reload time. I'm sure you agree, if your aim is on point, in the right hands, the pump action shotgun is lethal. So you can imagine why people use this strategy. I'll be honest, I haven't mastered it yet and won't for some time, but I thought I'd bring it to you guys anyway. It's also possible to do this strategy with other weapons like RPGs, but I haven't tried this yet, as I find it hard enough to find one RPG in game, let alone 2. I'm going to briefly talk about positioning, especially in duos, but this can be applied to squads and even solo. When you come across another team, most often than not, you will all start shooting, sticking walls up and huddling together. I found the best way to deal with situations like this is half the team start building to draw the other team's attention, and the other half push the enemy. You're now in 2 separate groups, in 2 separate locations, and this is a lot harder to deal with. One team out will probably take a bit more damage than the other, but a good team shares meds. Also, if you find yourself a little back from your teammate and they come under fire, it's a good strat to start building. This will more often than not draw the enemy's attention away from your teammate under fire and buy them some time. For some reason in this game, whenever you start to build, it panics the enemy and attracts their gunfire, so why not use it to your advantage? We know how important building is in this game, and using the correct material and shape is also just as important. For example, a fully built metal wall can take a direct hit from an RPG when a wooden one can't. Also, don't forget to use the repair feature after a structure has taken damage. Also, if you see an RPG coming towards you, stick up a wall. This will block the RPG and absorb the majority of splash damage. I will release a video soon of all the buildable shapes, so stay tuned, but for now it's a good idea to jump into a game, stick yourself in a corner, have a little play around with the shapes, see what you can build. Also, I see a lot of players doing this, and I'm guilty of it too, but if you're building steps, stick a wall in front, just for protection. The amount of times I build steps and they get shot out and they end up taking full damage, this will help prevent this. If you've built a wall and you know the enemy is behind, but you're unsure exactly where, press the edit button. Now you can see through the wall and the enemy's position, and they have no idea. But be careful, as this can be used against you as well. Also, utilise the little pyramid shapes. Put these around the edge of your sniper tower and use them as cover. Without a doubt, if you're playing Fortnite Battle Royale, you will find yourself in a shotgun fight at some point, and staying calm and being in control is key to winning every fight. It's easy to spam shoot and jump around like crazy, just hoping one of your shots makes contact enough to take them out. As shotguns have a low fire rate and a large reload time, it's a good idea to pick your shots. Jump if need be, but no button spamming. It's a better idea to wait that half second for the enemy to be in your crosshairs rather than hope one of your shots will make contact. Also, what shotgun you use is personal preference, but knowing their qualities is important. The pump action shotgun bullet spread is smaller than the tactical, but has a greater range and damage, where the tactical has a greater spread but lower damage and range. And finally, if you're playing ultra stealthy and find yourself without any resources, it's fine to mine as usual, just don't finish off the object. Leave it with a little bit of HP. This way, if anybody is close by, there isn't any visual clue of you being there. Right, that's it for this one, dudes. It's a bit shorter than part 1, and I've probably missed a few bits, but I hope you found it useful. If you can think of any advanced tips and tricks I've missed, let us know in the comments. I've been Rough Diamond. Hit sub, smash the like, press the bell if you haven't already. See you guys in another video soon. Laters.